It is a combination of things. We as humans always want it to be like, what is the one thing that's making this condition worse? What's the one thing that we can do differently? And I'm really here to let people know that it is really has a lot to do with environment. Always there is a genetic component. So eczema can run in families. If a mom or a dad has eczema, there's a higher predisposition for that child to have eczema. And then really it is something that's in the environment that is triggering the expression of those genetics for that eczematous process to express. So what types of things could be an environmental trigger? Well, it could be a food allergy or a food sensitivity.
Your skin is more than just a surface. It's a window into your overall health. From stubborn acne to itchy eczema, skin conditions are an increasingly common occurrence, sending millions to dermatologists each year. But what's driving this rise and how do men and women differ in their skin struggles? Certified physician assistant Carrie Jenkins, a functional medicine expert with 25 years in dermatology, joins us to uncover the root causes of skin issues and offer long-term solutions. In this episode, we'll explore the most prevalent skin conditions, their causes, and how lifestyle, environment, and the gut microbiome play critical roles in skin health. Whether you're battling breakouts or premature aging, these insights will empower you to take control. So let's learn together. Hi, friends. Welcome to the New Normal Big Life podcast. We bring you natural news and stories about nature that we hope will inspire you to get outside and adventure, along with a step-by-step plan to help you practice what you've learned and create your own new normal and live the biggest life you can dream. I'm your host, Antoinette, the Wellness Warrior. Before we hear from our expert, let's learn about the common skin conditions driving dermatologist visits. Skin conditions are among the top reasons people seek medical care, according to the American Academy of Dermatology. Eczema, acne, and psoriasis top the list, affecting millions annually. Acne alone impacts up to 50 million Americans, while eczema affects about 31 million, and psoriasis plagues roughly 7 million. Rosacea, a chronic condition causing facial redness, is also widespread, particularly in fair-skinned individuals. Let's meet the expert who will help with your biggest skin challenges. Carrie Jenkins is a certified physician assistant in Florida. She graduated over a Southeastern University in 2000 and received her master's in physician assistant studies from the University of Nebraska in 2007. Carrie has practiced medical and aesthetic dermatology for the past 25 years. Her functional integrative medicine education included certifications through the School of Applied Functional Medicine and the prestigious Institute of Functional Medicine. Carrie combines her expertise in conventional dermatology with the principles of functional medicine to treat skin conditions at their root cause, ensuring long-term health and results. She offers invaluable insights into how treating the whole body rather than just the skin leads to lasting improvements in skin health. Carrie believes every patient has a story, and through story sharing, we gather details to map out the history and implement a plan for true healing. She understands that all areas of their lives, physical, mental, and spiritual, are interconnected and a necessary part of their healing journey. When she's not working, she's a mom to 2 ambitious girls and enjoys ballroom dancing, hand lettering, and being outdoors in nature. Hi, Carrie. Welcome to New Normal Big Life.
Hi, Antoinette. Thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here.
So let's talk about skincare, which is among the top reasons that people seek medical care, according to the American Academy of Dermatology. What are some of the conditions that you're seeing in your practice, and are they the same for men and women?
So what I'm noticing trending up more and more is I'm noticing a lot more atopic dermatitis, which in layman's terms is known as eczema. Eczema has been around since the beginning of time, but I will say that I'm starting to notice trends where we're seeing it in much younger children. Like I have infants in my practice that are head to toe eczematous rashes where they're miserable, they're unable to sleep. And when the baby can't sleep, the mama can't sleep. When the mama can't sleep, that's a big problem. So I'm noticing a lot more intensity, I would say, in my atopic dermatitis patients. And boys and girls are affected equally.
Do we know what's causing this upward trend in children?
It is a combination of of things. We as humans always want it to be like, what is the one thing that's making this condition worse? What's the one thing that we can do differently? And I'm really here to let people know that it is really has a lot to do with environment. Always there is a genetic component. So eczema can run in families. If a mom or a dad has eczema, there's a higher predisposition for that child to have eczema. And then really it is something that's in the environment that is triggering the expression of those genetics for that eczematous process to express. So what types of things could be an environmental trigger? Well, it could be a food allergy or a food sensitivity. It could be any of the, multiple numerous chemicals that we are exposed to in our everyday world, the plastics, the endocrine disrupting chemicals, the phthalates, the pesticides, like the list goes on and on and on. So it's really an environmental trigger that is triggering a predisposition in the genetics that is allowing that gene to express.
And recently I heard a physician say that if you are not bathing or showering at the end of your day before you go to bed, that you're sleeping in toxins. Do you think that plays a role, that people have gotten away from a nighttime bath or a
I
night?
mean, yeah, especially I think that's geared more towards maybe adults because as parents, right, the nighttime routine for most children includes dinner, winding down, maybe a bedtime story, taking a bath, or maybe the bath and then the bedtime story and then bed. So a lot of children are getting that, all the ick from the day taken off. I would agree with that. Our bodies are designed to eliminate as much of the chemical toxicity that we possibly can. And how do we do that? Through our skin. Well, we do that through sweat. So, I live in South Florida where it is 90 something degrees, 9 to 10 months out of the year. We are sweating people down here. Sweat is ubiquitous. You go outside, you start sweating because it's 90% humidity and it's 97 degrees outside. So, yeah, if you don't rinse that off your skin after working out or being outside and sweating for an extended period of time, what's going to happen? Your skin is just going to reabsorb everything that it just tried to get out. So, yeah, I think there's something to that.
Are there concerns that differ between men and women, things that women might need to worry about that are different from what men might need to worry about?
The one thing that really comes up for me when you ask that question is, as a female, we are exposed to so much more chemical toxicity than, say, a man would be. And if we just take like your routine in the morning, when you wake up, Antoinette, what do? You get up, you have your cup of coffee, maybe you take your shower, and then you apply your moisturizer and your skincare, your makeup, and then your hair care. And you think about all the personal care products that a female is using before she even walks out the door to get herself ready to go to work. I think that's a primary difference, in contrasting males to females, because men, what do? They wake up, they have their coffee, maybe they go exercise, they come in, they shave, they shower. Maybe they run a comb through their hair, they brush their teeth, and they're out the door, right? Where a woman has this whole routine where they're, the shower gel that has fragrance, and all fragrance is chemicals, right? So we have everything that's in the shower, the shampoo, the conditioner, the body wash. We get out of the shower, the moisturizer, again, fragrances and phthalates and parabens and silicones and oh my heavens, all these things. So I think our exposure as women is a little bit higher than men.
That makes perfect sense. And just for the listeners, I just want to go over my morning routine. My morning routine begins with a glass of electrolyte water. So 8 ounces of water, a half a lemons, fresh squeezed, and a little bit of Himalayan sea salt. Then I go look at the sun while I'm drinking it. And then I'll have some coffee.
That is the perfect morning routine for all your listeners. Take note. She's doing it correctly.
So why is it particularly important for women to know that they have treatment options for skin?
Well, I think the community, the society as a whole is really starting to shift their level of awareness. Older generations I'll speak from like my parents' generation. If they had a problem, they went to see their physician, their primary care physician or their practitioner. And really, whatever that practitioner said was like, came down from the mountain, like from Moses himself, right? Like whatever the doctor said is what we have to do. And I think it's a beautiful time in medicine because the mamas are the warriors, right? The mamas are the ones that are like mama bear, and they're the ones out there online doing the research, doing the reading, asking the questions when they go into their practitioners. And I think it's a really exciting time because a lot of these moms are coming into their provider and saying, hey, listen, this is obviously a big problem. My infant, my 7-month-old, is covered head to toe in eczema, and you gave us a topical steroid preparation, and it works when we use it. And then when we try to taper off and we stop using it, it flares back up again. And that's where most of the practitioners, dermatology especially, will say, okay, well, if the topical steroids are not really keeping you in good control, then the next step is going to be to a biologic immunosuppressant medication. And that's where the mamas are saying, whoa, Nelly, let's put the brakes on, because I'm not going to start my 7-month-old on a topical immune modulating medication that they potentially will need to be taking for life. I am not willing to put this 7-month-old on that type of medication. What else can we do? What else is there? There has to be some other option. And these mamas are coming in and asking really hard questions, and they don't back down. So we're getting to a point where if a practitioner doesn't have something else to pull out of their back pocket, okay, let's talk about food, let's talk about environment, let's talk about toxins. That mom is going to leave that practice and go find somebody else that will talk to her about those topics. So I think now is the time where society as a whole is really just broadening their awareness to, you know what? The food we eat really does matter. What we put on our skin really does matter. Even if the doctor says no, chocolate, pizza, French fries, that doesn't affect your son's acne. Come on.
As you were talking, I thought of so many things to go down this rabbit hole on for just a moment. One of the points that you brought up is about the topical steroid. And one of the challenges with a topical steroid is that, in my opinion, it's masking the symptoms. So you think, I don't have symptoms, so everything's fine. I'm in remission, cured, healed, whatever. I like to get the information from my body. If I had a flare up of eczema, I would be asking myself why. And I know that's something that you do in your practice. Will you explain the role of functional medicine in dermatology and how it differs from traditional approaches?
Absolutely. This is my passion. So, I am a PA and I have practiced conventional dermatology for 25 years. So I was trained in the conventional medical model, and we treat and give steroids. And just like you said, that is a Band-Aid, and it is masking the symptom. And what we have to come back to, I love how you so elegantly stated, the symptom that you're experiencing, the hives, the itching, the eczema flare up, whatever it may be, that is your body's way of communicating to you, hey, something's off balance here. And this is how we're showing you that something is off balance. You may have a little rash. And then if you don't pay attention to that little rash may now spread. And if you don't pay attention to that spread rash, that rash may take over half your body. And your body starts out by whispering symptoms and talking to you very gently and very softly. And if you choose to listen and pay attention and ask deep questions and try to figure out what's going on, you can avoid the domino effect, right? But so many people in today's go, 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 do, achieve more, better, faster, harder society, they don't have time to pay attention to their bodies whispering to them. And then what does the body do? It has to turn up the volume and say, hey, pay attention to me. I'm trying to communicate to you that something is off balance here. And then if you don't listen to the body turning up the volume, then it's going to start screaming, right? And that's when all heck breaks loose. So really identifying, okay, something's out of whack. My body's trying to communicate to me that something needs to be changed. What is it that is imbalanced, or what upset the apple cart? Is it my diet? Is it my crazy stressed out lifestyle? Is it The food, the food or the anti-nutrients that I'm eating in the food that I'm choosing to put at the end of my fork, right? Like, what is it? Is it the fact that I'm up until 2 o'clock in the morning binge watching every Friends episode and I'm, prioritizing that mind-numbing activity versus over really restorative, regenerative sleep? Am I sitting all day long in an office underneath blue lights and I'm sedentary and I'm not getting any movement that my body so desperately craves? Like, what is the foundation that is causing the imbalance? And how do we identify what that is? And that's really what we do. We aim to identify the underlying cause, the driving factors behind the symptoms that people are experiencing. So whether it's acne, rosacea, psoriasis, eczema, lupus, alopecia, like you name it, there are driving contributing factors, and we identify what those are and we go about unraveling what's happening. So we use basic lab work and we use advanced diagnostic testing. Our motto is we test, we don't guess, we test what's going on. We gather information, gather that data. Once we have that data, now we have a game plan. We have an idea of what's going on. And a lot of the visit that I have with my patients is really educational. It's educating them on the foundations of health. What are the foundations of health? Well, it's movement. It's not being sedentary. It's managing your stress. It's finding joy every single day. It's being outdoors and getting your body in sunlight. It's eating nutrient-dense whole foods to supply your body with the enzymes and the minerals and the vitamins that it needs so it can function optimally. It's being hydrated. So many people are dehydrated and they have no idea. They're not getting up in the morning and fresh squeezing a lemon in their water and putting electrolytes and sea salt in that first 8 ounces that they're giving to their body, right? So it's really us sitting down and educating them. As a society, we've gotten so far away from the basic principles of health. It's bringing us back to saying, this is what your body needs to survive. What are you doing? What are you not doing? And how do we get that built into your daily routine so that your body gets what it needs?
And Carrie, to your point, the whisper could be that little patch of psoriasis that's telling you have an underlying systemic widespread inflammation problem that could be lupus or some other autoimmune disease. So you need to listen to your body and follow those symptoms. Also, if you haven't been listening to all of the episodes in the podcast and you've been jumping around, listeners, there's some episodes prior to this episode that can help you. For example, Dr. Julie Seamers talks about surviving your hospital stay and choosing a great doctor. So if you're not one of those patients who's a wise healthcare consumer and you're asking good questions and pushing back on doctor recommendations that don't feel right for you or someone you love, then Dr. Seamers gives you phrases that you can use and also how to escalate your concerns when you're in a clinical setting or a hospital. And also, there is an episode on how to remove 14 dangerous toxins out of your diet. You can download a printable handout that you can take to the store, and it tells you what the toxin is and how it will show up on the label. And one toxin might show up on the label 4 different ways, for example. Then there is the other episode on my morning routine and the lemon water detox. So make sure you catch those. Before we cover the next topic in this episode, I want to introduce you to the adventure sports lifestyle with what I call a microstory about an adventure that I've had. The adventure sports lifestyle and my deep connection to nature is essential to my good health. So here's the story. Most people don't have a relationship with nature. Nature is the thing that makes you too hot, too cold, or delays your plans. It's the thing you suffer through to get where you're going. The true stewards of the lands and waterways are those who use them. We are out volunteering, doing river cleanup, trail maintenance, reforestation, and helping fish spawn. When I speak to conservation PhD candidates, 100% of the students in every class said they weren't outdoorsy. They don't have an outdoor hobby, but they love nature and they want to protect it. But how do you protect something that you don't know, that you don't have a relationship with? The next time someone talks to you about conservation, ask them about their relationship with nature. I hope this inspires you to get outside and adventure alone with friends or the people you love most. Now, back to the show where we're talking with dermatology expert Carrie Jenkins. Are there different skin challenges at different age milestones, Carrie?
Well, when we see youngsters, infants through toddlers, it's mainly atopic dermatitis or eczema. That's the primary thing that we see. Secondary to that in that population, it would primarily be like a rash that's secondary to a virus, right? Like the young kids, their immune system is still gearing up and maturing. So every virus that they're exposed to, a lot of kids will come down with a full body rash and the parents freak out and oh my God, and it's transient, it's going to pass when the bug goes away. Then when we get into our preteens, and really I've seen this shift earlier and earlier as well with all of the endocrine disrupting chemicals and plastics, is teenage acne, right? So many of our kids are afflicted with acne. And, for the most part, when I was growing up, we started to see acne around 12, 13, 14 years of age. And that's really the age group that was dealing with acne. And now I have moms of 8 and 9-year-old girls, and these girls are going into puberty this early and starting their menstrual cycles at 9, 10 years old, where before it was 13, 14, 15 is when that maturation hormonal development was taking place. So I'm seeing acne earlier and earlier. And then as we get into adulthood in our females, especially, that's where rosacea really starts to come out. And I have these beautiful young women who say, I never had acne growing up as a teenager. What the heck is happening to my skin now? And that's where rosacea starts to come in. And then the kids that have eczema as young children, sometimes they grow out of that tendency and sometimes it's with them lifelong. Psoriasis, we usually see develop as an adult. Sometimes we'll see it post a secondary strep infection. Sometimes youngsters will get strep and then manifest psoriasis immediately after that strep infection. So that's typically, what we see most frequently in those age demographics.
We'll be back after a short break to talk about some common causes of skin conditions.
When you're planning an adventure camping, rafting, RVing, or mountaineering, you'll need quality food with sufficient vitamins, minerals, and nutrients to fuel your adventure. My partner, Ready Hour, is here to help you ahead of time. Ready Hour has a long history of providing calorie-rich, reliable, and delicious nourishment for life's unexpected situations and adventures. They're part of a family of companies that have served millions of people like you for decades. My family and I use Ready Hour products for camping, mountaineering, and disaster preparedness for 5 years now. They're not just reliable, they're also your affordable option too. Long-term storable food shouldn't break the bank. That's why they have great sales and payment options for you. It's your bridge to safety and survival when you're on an adventure. So make your next decision your smartest decision. Be ready for adventure tomorrow, today. Trust Ready Hour. Ready to shop? Use my affiliate link in the show description.
Carrie, what are some common causes of skin conditions and how do you identify and treat them in your practice?
So in my integrative and functional dermatology practice, I alluded previously that we are really big on testing. So I do some basic blood work where I'm looking at vitamins and nutrients to see how well the immune system is getting what it needs to be able to function optimally. So we do some regular blood work. And then we do some advanced diagnostic testing, a comprehensive diagnostic stool analysis, which we speak a lot about stool in my practice. There's a lot of conversation about elimination and how important that is. It's really our body's way of taking out the trash. So we talk about constipation, we talk about diarrhea, we talk about, how important it is to have a really good, healthy bowel movement every single day. But when we test the gut, we're looking at the gut microbiome. So we're looking for several different things, right? The testing that I utilize allows me to see the gut microbiome. Are the commensals or the really good, helpful bacteria, are they present in high enough quantities? Do we have any opportunistic gut bugs? And these guys, I like to call them bullies on the playground, right? They'll take over. If given the opportunity, they're going to come in and take over. So we're looking to see if there's any opportunistic dysbiosis. it allows us to see how well digestion is actually functioning in the gut. It shows me the level of inflammation in the gut, how well the immune system is functioning in the gut. So the stool analysis is really pivotal to help us identify, are there parasites? Are there worms? Are there dysbiosis overgrowths of pathogenic species? Is there enough of the good flora, the commensal guys? So it really, getting that data allows us to really get a very, very good idea of what's going on the inside, because really our skin is just a window that is expressing on the outside what's happening on the inside, right? If our gut is inflamed, if our gut is leaky, if our liver isn't able to process and eliminate all of those toxins, then it's going to show up on our skin in one form or another, whether it's acne or rosacea or psoriasis or eczema. So that's where we do things completely different. The conventional dermatologist is going to look at the skin, identify the problem. We call it name it, blame it, tame it, right? They name it, they tell you what it is. They tell you, maybe what's causing it, and then they prescribe something to calm that symptom, where we are identifying where is that imbalance? Where's the inflammation coming from? How's the liver functioning? How's the gut functioning? And then once we identify that data, we're able to create a beautiful treatment plan based on that unique person's test results. And, when you give the body what it needs and you take away what it doesn't need, magical things can happen. But I will say that this type of process or medical care isn't for everybody. It does take a lot of work. It's not an easy light switch, like you turn on the light switch and the light is on. It takes time to reestablish the body. If you are vitamin D deficient, it takes a little bit of time to build that vitamin D level back up, right? So I tell patients, parents, and kids and adults that come to us, you have to put your patient hat on. This is not something like a drug that's going to suppress a symptom in 12 to 24 hours. This is going to take several weeks to months to reestablish, because what we're doing is we're rebalancing every cell in your body, and that takes a little bit of time.
We have an entire episode and a downloadable document on how to fix your gut microbiome. But what steps can people take to treat their microbiome? Or do you recommend, if they're already seeing signs of acne and other microbiome issues, that they should seek help rather than doing it at home alone?
The one thing that I say to everybody is just eat real food. So many people, teenagers, even our young kids, right? They're eating these squishy yogurt things. Like, the amount of sugar that's in one of those is mind-boggling, right? So I'm not saying yogurt is bad. I'm saying be mindful and read the label and see how much added sugar is in that Go-Gurt squeezy thing that you're giving that child, right? So we like to eat nutrient-dense whole foods. Instead of, giving the fruit roll-ups, give a bowl of strawberries. You're getting the fiber and all the beautiful things that is in that berry rather than this processed fruit leather, right? So the easiest thing that I can say is get rid of the processed, get rid of the junk, get rid of the packaged, eat nutrient-dense whole foods.
And read your labels, because not all yogurt is created equal. You want to get your RBST-free yogurt that doesn't have all the hormones in it. So what long-term solutions do you recommend for achieving lasting skin health?
Something that I'm going to say that may surprise your audience listeners and may surprise medical practitioners as well is I am a very large proponent of getting outside and putting your body in the sun. And typically, conventional medical practitioners are constantly preaching about sun avoidance and wearing sunscreen. And I'm not saying that that's wrong. We would never want to encourage somebody to burn their skin, have too much exposure and burn their skin. But there is something to be said about building a solar callus and slowly increasing your natural pigmentation, because that's how your body synthesizes its own vitamin D, right? You absorb that sunlight through your skin, then it goes through the liver and through the kidney, and now all of a sudden you have vitamin D. And vitamin D is so incredibly important. It's really not a vitamin. It's actually a pro-hormone, and it's responsible for so many things in the human body. And I'm just going to come out and say probably 8.5 out of every 10 people that I test are significantly deficient in vitamin D. So the one way that I have people, not only keep their skin health, keep their skin healthy, but to keep their whole body healthy is to be outdoors. Put your body in natural sunlight for, 15 to 40 minutes every single day. Don't burn, be smart, but expose your body to natural sunlight, UVA, UVB.
As we say here on New Normal Big Life, get outside and adventure. I hope you'll go to either my social media on X or Instagram or watch this video. And I'm going to go ahead and drop this on you right now, folks. I will be 58 years old in, I forgot which month, TBI survivor here, November of this year. And I have one wrinkle from where I had a head injury, but other than that, I don't have any wrinkles. And I spend 365 days outdoors, several hours a day, especially in the summer. I never wear sunscreen. I use astaxanthin as a natural internal sunscreen. I take 5,000 IU of vitamin D every year. I live in the Midwest and I've been tested. I need that amount just to be well within the normal range for vitamin D. So if my story and situation can give you an example of how important it is to get outside and adventure, to get natural sunlight for your mental and emotional health and brain health, but you're not at risk for danger if you're using protection. And what I mean by protection is you're taking your vitamin D, you're taking care of your skin when you get out of the sun. And the other thing that I wanted to say about skincare is you have to choose what you put on your face and the rest of your skin wisely. Choose the most natural ingredients you can find.
Could not agree more. Very well said. There's a lot of marketing that goes into this, people. We have to be smart about what we're putting on our skin because our skin is our largest organ. And just on the other side of the skin lies systemic, our blood vessels, and we systemically absorb everything that is put on our skin. So my basic rule of thumb is if you can't read it or pronounce it, it shouldn't be going on your skin.
Amen. What advice would you give someone just starting their journey toward better skin health through functional medicine?
Well, you mentioned circadian rhythms, I think. I love having a good, consistent circadian rhythm, getting up at the same time every day, exercising the same time every day, using the bathroom the same time every day, timing your meals the same time every day. Being outside, I love your motto, get outside and adventure. Let's get back to that, right? So there's a lot of really the things that we're asking people to do are not expensive. Like this is low hanging fruit. Move your body, get outside, stay hydrated, drink plenty of filtered water, expose your body to sunlight every single day. These are the basic principles of living a healthy life. And that's basically where I'd start with anybody.
That's beautiful. If someone wanted to work with you, but they don't live in your area, is that a possibility to do telehealth?
Yes, so we do telehealth. I'm licensed in the state of Georgia and Florida. So we can do telehealth appointments for people that live in Georgia and in northern Florida. I'm in South Florida. Other than that, it's a little bit tricky because I do practice to the fullest extent of my licensure. I have to follow the rules and only practice in the states that I'm licensed in.
That's fair enough. What more would you like the listeners to know?
I just am so happy to be affiliated with people like you who have these amazing platforms and you're using your knowledge to get good information out there and to help people get healthy. So I'm just so grateful to be a part of this and thank you for this opportunity. And, it just warms my heart to know that there are other people like me who are trying to, get people to reclaim their health.
Oh, Carrie, thank you so much for your kind words. I really appreciate it. And thank you for joining us today. You'll be able to find how to connect with Carrie if you're in her working area in the show description. And I welcome you back anytime to talk more about skincare.
Thank you so much. It was so fun.
Until next time, friends, I'm Antoinette Lee, your wellness warrior here at the New Normal Big Life podcast. I hope one day to see you on the river, in the backcountry, or in the horse barn living your best life. Struggling with health problems or seeking natural health solutions, we've got you covered. Don't miss our latest podcast episodes, exclusive blog posts, and free ebooks packed with life-changing wellness tips. Be sure to help others find this great information by leaving us a star rating and a review wherever you get your podcasts.
Magnesium, an unsung hero, fuels over 300 bodily reactions, from heart health to stress relief. Magnesium expert Natalie Girardo, founder of Rooted In, found freedom from anxiety, insomnia, and pain through topical magnesium. It transformed my life, she says, inspiring her mission to share this mineral's power. Cardiologist Dr. Jack Wolfson calls magnesium essential for heart health, helping regulate rhythms, blood sugar, and reduce inflammation. Up to 80% of people may be deficient, facing issues like depression, migraines, insomnia, or muscle cramps. For women over 40, magnesium eases menopause symptoms, boosts energy, and supports bones. Choosing the correct type of magnesium matters. Real stories, Natalie's and mine, highlight its impact. After interviewing magnesium expert Natalie Girardo, I became a customer. I was already a magnesium fan, having been told by 2 cardiologists to take magnesium for a minor heart arrhythmia. Natalie explains it best in the Magnesium, the Mineral Transforming Lives episode of New Normal Big Life, number 4 in Alternative Health on Apple Podcast. Listen wherever you get your podcasts. Fast forward after the interview, I bought the Rooted In bundle for sleep, tranquility, and pain relief. As a spine injury survivor with several other health challenges, I'm in constant pain. However, I don't take any pain medication. Rooted In is now one more source that nature provided to give our bodies what it needs when it needs it. You can find magnesium in natural bodies of water like lakes and rivers and in soil. But modern farming practices have stripped magnesium out of the soil and our food. That's why today, Rooted In's rest, relief, and tranquility are part of our afternoon and nightly sleep routine. My guy who did 2 tours kicking indoors in Iraq with the Marines now has no trouble falling asleep. I no longer have to take melatonin before bedtime to fall asleep. So after I became a customer and saw how well these products worked, I applied to become an affiliate. I've been sharing the secrets of Rooted In with friends and family from age 38 to 68, and everyone has gotten amazing results within minutes of applying the cream. Do something naturally good for yourself. Get Rooted In. Click my affiliate link in the episode description to shop now.